Asurion is the insurance that I use with Verizon. The customer service was not good as far as replacement of my son's phone. I thought it could have been better. I thought that the information that I was given could have been better information. The people that they sent me to repair the phone did not do a good job with the phone. And I thought that I should have got better customer service than I gotten. I placed the claim on September the 8th for to repair a broken screen on my son's phone. The appointment was set up for the 11th of September, which it was from 11 to 1, and my husband was at home waiting. No one never called. They didn't show up. So I called them about a quarter till 1, and I asked, what was going on. No one hadn't showed. And the rep told me, she said, well, you have 20 more minutes. So give them to 1 o'clock. And I told her, I said, well, they're supposed to call 30 minutes before time. So if it's 12:40 and they're going to call me 30 minutes before time, it's going to be after 1 when they get here. And she was like, well, we can't do anything until 1 o'clock. So I called back. They didn't show up. I called back about 1:30. They didn't show up. So I had my husband to make sure that they hadn't come, or to check his phone to make sure they hadn't called. And he said no one showed and no one called. So I called them back, and they told me that they don't know what happened. She kept putting me on hold, trying to find out why, to get in contact with the tech person. But I don't think she ever got in contact with the tech person. So she said that I had to make an appointment for the following that Friday. She told me the appointment was for September 8th, but she told me I had to make another appointment because the person didn't show up. So, my son, I had my son's phone. He's in college, so he hadn't had his phone since that Saturday. And the appointment was on the 8th. So I told her, I said, well, let me check with my son. I said, well, let's go ahead and make the appointment. And I said, I'm going to have to check with my son to make sure that's okay, because he's already hadn't had his phone for like 4 days, and my son is disabled, and he needs his phone based on, he has to kind of remind himself to put things in the phone as far as checking his temperature because he's in school. So she said, well, we'll set the appointment up for September the 11th. So when I called him, he said he didn't want to wait that long. So she kept putting me on hold, She said, well, we don't have anybody that you could take your phone into the office to get it repaired, and to whoever people that they use, the other contracts, whatever they use. I said, okay. But then I called back, and I got a third person. And she said, I'm looking in the computer, and I do see a place where you lived at. You can walk the phone in to get the phone fixed. I said, well, the lady told me that there wasn't a place here in Athens that I could take the phone in. So I had to cancel that claim, do a third claim. And she said that my money that I paid to get the phone repaired, that I would get that credited, and I had to open up another claim. But the lady that she found the place, so I went in and had the phone repaired. It was repaired, but the people that repaired the phone didn't do something correctly. When they gave me the phone back, my husband took the phone, and I went to pick it up because I had to take it up to Georgia Tech. He said, well, we ran into some kind of issue while repairing the phone. The Face ID isn't working. And he just gave me the phone. I'm sorry. And I'm like, the Face ID isn't working. I said, it was working before you all repaired it. Well, ma'am, you're just going to have to call Verizon, and they can take care of it for you. So I called Asurion again. And I told them what happened. And she said, well, we're just going to have to set up another appointment for the people to come out and look at the phone. And it's going to be set up Sunday, which was yesterday, to look at the phone to see why the Face ID isn't working. And I said, okay. So we met the guy. He showed up. He called 30 minutes before. He did everything that they're supposed to do the first time. And he looked at the phone and he told me that whoever fixed the phone the first time did a sloppy job, and said they were supposed to calibrate the phone so that the Face ID could work. So he said that he got on the phone and called whoever that that he talked to as far as on his end, and they told him that he needed to give me the Asurion number again to call. So as soon as I gave my son his phone because he needed it, and I left. And from the time I got in my car from Georgia Tech all the way to Athens, which is an hour and a half drive, I was on the phone with Asurion. I called them and I told them that the guy said that the people that repaired my phone the first time did a sloppy job, that the phone was supposed to be calibrated so that the Face ID should have been working, and that he checked the database to see what work that they do on the phone. He said if there wasn't anything in the database showing that they repaired the phone, it's like it never happened. So he said for me to call Asurion back, and I should be able to get a phone replacement phone for free, because in order to get a replacement phone it's $170, but to repair the screen it was $29. So I talked to the lady. She was really nice. She started the claim. I had to do another claim again. So this is like the fourth claim. So I had to do another claim, and we went through everything, and she said she kept putting me on hold. She said she had to talk to her supervisor to get the claim, get the deductible waived. So I'm gonna have to pay the $170 because it wasn't my fault that the phone wasn't repaired correctly. So I was on the phone with her for like 30 minutes, and all of a sudden the phone just went dead. So I was called them back again, talked to the same Asurion rep, but it was a different rep because you don't get the same rep. And I had to go over the same thing with her again. I'm like, ma'am, I said, I was at the end of the claim. I said, the lady said that the black foam is not in, that it was not in stock, that I could choose another color. I said, we were at the end of the phone call, and the phone was lost. The phone call was lost. She was like, well, we have to start over, and she went through and she said that I would have to do another affidavit. I'm like, ma'am, I already did an affidavit when I first filed the claim. I said, do I have to do another one? She put me on hold like 3 or 4 times again. And she come back. She said, well, ma'am, you're going to have to pay $170. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I just talked to the lady last, and I said, we went through that, and she kept putting me on hold and said that she was going to talk to her supervisor and get the claim waived, the fee waived, and I won't have to pay it. All you all would have to do was replace the phone. And she put me on hold again. And I said, please, don't keep putting me on hold. The last time the lady put me on hold, the phone call got disconnected, and I had to start all over. I said, she was at the end of the call. She had asked for my address and everything, and wanted to know where to send the phone. I said, then it got disconnected. She put me on hold like 4 or 5 times and said that she had to get her supervisor to okay the waiving the fee instead of me paying the $170. Then she said she needed my credit card. I'm like, what do you need my credit card for? She was like, well, we need your card just in case the phone doesn't get returned and you're going to have to pay us $350. And then I was okay with that because I understand some people don't return the call. But I finally, after an hour and 15 minutes from Athens, from Georgia Tech in Atlanta to Athens, I finally got off the phone with them. It took me 4 claims, talking to 5 or 6 different people, waiting to get my phone repaired. No one showed up at the beginning. It was just a terrible experience. The screen has been repaired. That was initially what was wrong. But my son, he doesn't have the Face ID. working. So what they're going to do, I'm supposed to get a new phone tomorrow in place of that phone, and I have to take that back up to him. So finally, after all of this, I finally got the replacement phone. I would need them to make sure that their customer service rep have the proper information when they're talking to customers on the phone, and not give them the runaround, and to make sure that the people that they use to repair the phone are certified technicians that know what they're doing.